podcast. Today we have another special episode, another great episode. Another guy I'm truly happy for, truly proud of, a dude that used to sit in the locker next to mine and say he would do things a certain way. And I was like, dawg, this dude don't know what he talking about. We not listening to him. He knew. But you look at him now, from that locker space to thinking I stole his North Face, to now being named on staff at UIC, to now being at University of Illinois Chicago assistant coach, the Division I rank, starting where you started out at. What was it, like D2? I mean NAIA?
NAIA.
Was you like the JV coach
I was the
or
head
something like
JV
that?
coach, and I was an
Yeah.
assistant, man. Shout out Northwest Ohio, man. It's the first. That was
But,
the start, man. I still remember them dudes.
and as you hear his voice, I mean, former Purdue point guard, former Texas Arlington point guard, former coach at Northwest Ohio University. Shout out to them. We got my man Jonathan Hill, aka Johnny Hill, as we all know him. One of the better fifth-year transfers to come into Purdue. Came in at a rocky time. We had just got it back going, and John Nike had left out. Paint went back into not the portal then, but since it's a portal now, I'm gonna say the portal, but it's the
Yeah.
fifth-year grad portal. Went and got you. You came and stayed on my couch for a little bit. Why Purdue?
Why Purdue?
Yeah.
Man. First off, appreciate the intro, but second off, to answer your question, for guys like you, um, for guys like PJ, for guys like Biggie, for guys like AJ, and then even guys that came before that, Big Dog, Conzo Martin, the history, man, is super rich. Coach B, and you can just tell, man, it's a family atmosphere. Like, we actually played Purdue this year in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they ain't you wouldn't have thought we was family during that game, how they did us. But man, listen, like, seeing B, seeing PJ, seeing Coach Bloom, seeing Paint, seeing Nick T, all them guys before the game, man, just, giving hugs, and it's just a family atmosphere. I think every player is kind of searching for that and looking for that, uh, because of how much time you spend with these guys. But Purdue definitely, they valued that, and you could tell, in the pride that was, in that place is, why I decided to go there.
And for people that don't know, like you saying, before the game, before y'all was giving the hugs, I was beating up, whatever. I mean, for those that don't know, Johnny was on staff, player development at Utah State. So let me ask you this, because y'all had a hell of a season. And this was because I know you came from Montana State with Coach, and
Yeah.
you was at Grand Canyon. I can remember me and my now wife. She was my girlfriend there. We came to
Yeah.
see you. You was one of the
Yep.
first people that met my now wife, but
Yeah.
he was one of the first homies. But we came to see you out there. We got to see kind of the build up. But this year was kind of, I don't know. I would say it. Y'all was winning. Y'all looked happy as a staff. Y'all got to the tournament. Obviously, Coach went off to go coach at Washington. This is a good year. What did it feel like being on the other side of this? Because you, I guess, like I said, when you was at Purdue, we went to the tournament. We had a good year. We were ranked top 10, whatever. But now you were one of the better teams in college basketball as a coach. What was that
Yeah.
like?
Uh, Man, you know what? You spoke on our staff too, and you learn certain things going through this journey, and I think that was one of the biggest things that I learned is really important to, have people around you that are connected. And connected doesn't mean always groupthink and everybody's thinking alike, because we got varying opinions, right? And we got, we came up differently. I came up
Yep.
different than all those guys. We had a guy on staff from England. What I mean? I came up different from him. We had guys on the staff that were older than I was, couple guys that were younger than I was. So it was a great mix. But I think, and still to this day I look back, right? We doing a job right now that's very similar to what we did at Utah State, in terms of we just got the job, we putting a new team together. And so you look back on those moments, and while I'm doing that, it makes me even more so like, man, that was wild. You know what I mean? And I think the only reason that happens is the connectivity that we had as a staff. I think that trickled down to, our team. Uh, and then just, man, people matter. You know what I mean? Like, and I know it's such a cliche and everyone uses it in this business, but it's 100% the truth. People matter. And we dove in and we invested in the people that we bought in terms of our players. And when I tell you, these are some of the greatest kids that I've been around. Like, man, for example, I let them know, hey, I'm leaving, I'm taking another job. I invited them over to my house, just to kind of a going away type thing. Man, these dudes cleaned up behind themselves. And I know that's a small, decent, like I didn't
Nah,
ask them
for
to
real.
do it. Like I didn't ask them to do
That's
that.
what's up.
Like they literally went
That's what's
upstairs and
up.
my wife is just like, no, put that down, put that down. We got it. Like, no, they went clean up all of their stuff. And that just shows you who we were dealing with. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
looking back on it, yeah, the accolades was great. Yes, that was fun, but just those guys being connected to them, I'm gonna do it all the time. I call Darius Brown all the time because he was actually gonna go to a school in the Big Ten. I ain't gonna name the school, but he was gonna go there during his recruiting process, and I'm talking to him, and now I can really, now I just
Because they
call
ain't
him to
make the
remind
tournament.
him.
I heard you. I heard you what I was saying that the team he was going to was sad.
I just remind him, you gotta constantly remind people. So I just remind him.
No, because that's still the player in you. You're still competitive
Yeah,
for no
yeah,
reason. For no reason.
for sure.
Nah. Johnny would play you if he lost. He wouldn't want to talk to you. He was one of them dudes. Johnny take his ball and go home.
Yeah.
Johnny wanted to fight me over my North Face, which was crazy.
Which was great. Listen, and now that you bring that up too, I need that back, bro. I'm back in Chicago.
I'm back.
I
Yeah,
need.
I still got the video talking about some yo North Face. You had your joint the other lock, put your joint in the wrong locker. But nah, for real though. But what's that like in this landscape? Because like I said, well, wait. I'll ask you that one later. What's that like in this landscape? Because y'all put together a whole new team from everybody on the roster.
Yeah.
What is that like? What's that process like? And then what did y'all do to get them to like each other, to get them to be? Because it's easy to get what we had myself, AJ, and then the freshmen were now sophomores and PJ and those dudes. So when you came into an already functioning team. You know what I mean? You came
Yeah.
into it with something set. How did
Yeah.
y'all even pick who the captains was gonna be? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It helped us a little bit. So Darius Brown, the kid that I spoke of earlier, he was with us at Montana State. And so but you can see even at Montana State, because he was more similar to me at Montana State. So he came from CSUN, which is a school in
Yeah.
California, to Montana State. And so that team was already running. So it was like me stepping into Purdue. It was already up functioning. Like we would get on him a lot about leading because he was a point guard. But our vocal leader at that time was our big fella who was the player of the year and the defensive player of the year in the league. Like, so Darius, we always was kind of fighting with him to, have a voice and to talk to guys. Well, when he decided to come with us to Utah State, now it flipped, right? Like now
Right.
you the guy, what we doing, our culture. And so him and another kid that we bought with us, great Osabor, they were kind of they knew what to expect of us. But
Yep.
with that being said, man, you asked what we did. It's crazy because I thought that we should do, some of the, kind of retreats and different things like that with just how fast things were going. I mean, we was living with each other like in like a Airbnb, the coaching staff, for like I don't know how many months. You know what I mean? Like we hadn't looked for housing, we hadn't done none of that stuff.
Yeah,
It just really kind of got away from us, and we couldn't, really bring the guys together like we wanted to. So that all that you guys seen was very much so a natural progression, which
that's
again,
crazy.
it makes me proud because nowadays you see these kids and a lot of times they just kind of looking at their phones and you know what I mean? They're not really connected, but I'm telling you, these guys were so connected to one another. It's just special people. How we did it was, we knew, and honestly, too, the landscape of basketball, right? College basketball right now is, the NIL is a huge thing.
Yep.
We didn't really have anything. You know what I'm saying? Not only
That's
can we
tough.
not, we can't do anything. Like you got to come here, you want to play. You know what I mean? You love the
Yeah,
game.
you got
So
a lot of hoop. Yeah,
we weren't sacrificing that character aspect. Like we knew we were gonna
that's what's
sacrifice
up.
talent, and we said like, hey, listen, if this first year we get beat, then that's what we're gonna do. But we're gonna go down with the guys that we like and we believe in, and we want to be around every single day. And so that was a very very big piece of what we
Yeah.
did, how we did it. So
No, that sounds just like what when we sucked at Purdue before we turned it. I said just like what Coach Paint would say. We just gonna get the dudes that want to be here, that want to hoop, the dudes that want to do this the right way. I remember he used to tell us, Painter be like, I'd rather lose with the school of blind if they doing what I'm saying than lose with y'all and y'all doing it y'all way. Like little shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like,
Yeah.
y'all gonna get me fired. Just straight
Yeah.
up. But nah, like you heard Brad Underwood say that before this season. He said we went out, we got character over characters. And because you look at the season they had last season with Matt Meyer and those dudes, and compared to this season when they bring in dudes like Marcus Domax that just love hoop, they get to Elite
Mm-hmm.
Eight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get exactly what you're saying. But what was it like? I got to get to it. What was it like? Y'all had a great season, and then you capped the season, not capped the season, but you capped the season by going up against Purdue, a team that you finished your career with. Like I remember the bracket came out. You called me. You was geeked. You was like, "We're gonna get
Yeah.
them dudes." Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You was like, "We're gonna get the dudes." So my first question is, when you went to the locker room, was you like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I know them," or what was
Yeah.
that like? Like, did they come to you and ask you for information on Purdue, or what was that feeling like to be going up against your former team?
Yeah, well, when it came out that selection Sunday, and we got picked to go to Indy, all the guys, because they knew that I went to Purdue, so all of the guys were just, they was looking at me laughing, and we was joking, like, so it was always kind of a thought. But this one thing I'll say. So when I was at Montana State, I got friends in the business, and I got guys in the business that I look up to and kind of like mentors in a sense. And so I remember that year when I was at Montana State, I wrote one of my guys at Kansas State. I wrote him, just a card before the season. Hey man, good luck with everything. I'm rooting for you guys. Da da da. Just some stuff like that. I wrote him a letter, and so he sent me back a letter, right? And it had the Kansas State logo on it. And so whenever I get that stuff, I just put it on my desk. Like I just put these cards on my desk. Well, fast forward, right? We ended up playing Kansas State in the NCAA tournament. So it's like,
Mm.
so now this note that's been on my desk the entire time, now it's just like these guys looking at me like, yo, what you got going on? Why you got Kansas State? And I'm like, man, listen, this been there the whole time, right? It's been there the
I'm
whole
finna get you
time.
out of here.
Right. So it's funny, man, like how the world works. So uh um Purdue, so they send me cards for my birthday,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so they sent it to Idaho. Like I gotta update Bloom, like, bro, I'm not working at Idaho no more. I gotta let him know. But they sent it to Idaho and it got like kind of like sent back and like lost in the mail. And they finally got the address here. And so right before we about to leave, right before we about to go into like the whole, tournament and all of this stuff, our ops guy came and he just threw an envelope on my desk. And I'm like, what's this? Who's he was like, I don't know. It's mail and they got your name on it. So open it up. So I open it up and it's a card, happy birthday card from Purdue.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, put it on my desk.
About this.
And so we go into selection Sunday. We see that we in that bracket and we play TCU. So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh yeah, I'm keeping this card on my desk because we gonna play Purdue in the second round. So you know, we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
past TCU, thankfully, and then we ended up, playing Purdue. So it was just crazy. But man, it was, playing against those guys. I think it took a little bit of time for it to set in. Like you such a competitor and you working, you know, on your game plan and you trying to fix that stuff. Um, but when I lined up across some dudes and I seen PJ, you know what I mean, and I seen D, it was definitely a competitive spirit there, but it got out of hand at a certain point, and obviously you thinking about the season and how it went, and just the ups and downs, the ebbs and flow, putting this team together, and these guys achieving what they've achieved. It's definitely a sense of gratitude, and you fulfilled in this, and you're happy for these guys in a sense. You're sad that it went the way that it did, but you're happy for the adversity that they've overcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You happy.
yeah.
But on the other end of it, I could have been a little. It didn't take me. I didn't have a long as a hangover, I guess, with those guys because it was Purdue, and I know they do it the right way, and I know Coach Paint is not only a great coach but a great person, and I know their staff. And so it just turned from like being kind of upset about the season to like, man, I'm happy for them and I'm rooting for them. And So that was kind of that feeling. The guys are just like, yeah, bro, don't have your Purdue shirt on under your quarter zip. But I told him, hey man, listen, like Purdue don't sign my checks now. You know what I mean? Utah State do, so I'm in it all the way with y'all. So
Nah, straight up. But nah, for real though. But and what was that like? I mean, because you was at Purdue, you seen paint right on the board, win the Big Ten, win the Big Ten tournament, get to the NCAA tournament, get to Final Four, win a national championship. What was that like for you to be? Because after the season, your season is done. Now you get to watch it with just as a basketball fan to see your guys, to see PJ, to see B, to see because I mean we remember B. B was early in his career with us. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like you to see Bloom and like you know what Bloom how Bloom feel about Purdue. You know the pride he carried with Purdue, and then to see Paint, like you said, he does the right way. He respected in the business. He a better person than he is a coach. Like what was that feeling to you when they got to that Final Four when they beat Tennessee?
Man, straight joy. Like just literally just straight joy. Like happy for those guys. I mean, in my opinion, and you know this, you were there longer than I was. Like you was really like the foundation. Like you said, I think you said you and Paint been knowing each other since you've been in like seventh grade or something like that, or eighth grade or something like that, which is
Great up.
crazy. Like so I can only imagine the amount of pride that you have in it. But like once you get to know those guys and who they are and what they stand for, like it's you can't help but to root for them. You know what I mean? Like they do everything the right way. You know, they're not caught up in any scandals. Like they build a program up when they go the opposite direction. You know what I mean? Like even I'm talking to
Mm-hmm.
PJ now, like, man, how many of y'all gotta get? None. We got our whole team. Like, you know what I mean? Like they go the
Yeah.
opposite direction of a lot of people and a lot of programs. And just to see that success, man, is to me is obviously I'm happy to say that I went there, so just extreme joy for those guys.
When you see teams like Purdue going about it this way, and then you think about how you guys went about it the way last season, even though you brought because it kind of reminded me like Penn State when Penn State brought in Ace Baldwin and Nick Kern with Coach Rose, and then they
Yeah,
built around that. That's kind of what y'all did at Utah State. But when you see the landscape of college basketball, and I know COVID is about to phase itself out.
yeah.
As a former player, as a coach, what's your opinion on it?
In terms of just
Just
guys,
the movement, the way to go about it. Is it
yeah.
would you say it's a thing where you can still build with freshmen, or
Yeah,
can you think you can?
no, I think you definitely can. I think you definitely can. And it's to me it's about and this is so cliche, but it's about getting the right fit in there, for both the kid and the coach. Because what freshmen got to understand is, hey, listen, I'm playing against older guys. You know what I mean? Like some of these guys are 23 and 24 years old. So I got to go about things a little bit differently. You know what I mean? And so I think if they take a step back and look and understand this is a developmental thing for me. You know what I mean? I think our culture and our society right now is such in a microwave state. Like everything is like they want things instant. But I think once you get the right kids in there that understand, development and building, I think you can definitely win with those kids, and you can definitely win at a high level with those kids. I mean, you look at a kid like Braden Smith, right? We're talking about Purdue. I mean, he was a kid his freshman year, went through all the lumps. They lost to a 16 seed, 15 seed
Mm-hmm.
in the tournament. He
Yep.
did. He went through that, and then he came back this year, and I thought he was kind of like the engine to that team. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So he's a kid. Everything that I hear about that kid, and I haven't been around him. Everything I hear about him is just a worker. He's a Purdue guy, right? How about that?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Purdue guy, and so you can win at a high level. That kid played in the national championship. You can win at a high level with guys like that. It takes time, to build that. And both parties got to understand that. The coaches, the administrators, as well as the players. So
Nah, straight up. Nah, and I feel the same way. I could say that, and when I say it, it don't mean nothing. I ain't no coach. When you say you a coach, you there every day. You know what I mean? So that's why I ask. And in the
yeah,
sense of you talk about Braden Smith, I think Braden Smith definitely turned into one of the better guards in the country this year, just because the way he went about it, the way he handled his business. But like when you play Purdue, I gotta ask this, and this will be my last Purdue joint, is that when you go up against one of the better players that ever played in the college landscape, in my opinion, is Zach Edey. Someone of that size, someone of that physicality. What was those couple of days like? Or I mean, because I know y'all don't look past TCU, but you
Mhm.
still kind of gotta prepare for Zach. You know what I mean? How
Mhm.
did y'all prepare for Zach? How did y'all get the guys ready for him, or was it just kind of throw everything at him, see how he handle it?
Yeah, and you know what? That was the interesting thing for our staff because really how we did our scouting when I was at Utah State was we had we had games, right? Like Purdue do it a little different, right? They break the scout down amongst each assistant every game. We didn't do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? We had games. So if I got, whoever Baylor, then I'm doing Baylor the whole scout.
Ah, I got you.
And
Yep,
so the way that we did it, the way that we went about it was really just kind of breaking it down like Purdue did. So we did, I'll do personnel and sideline of the back, like special team situations. And so for our staff, we were so focused and locked in on TCU that we weren't even, really prepared. Now we knew about, right? We knew about Purdue. Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
watched
yeah.
them, I talk about them every day in the office. So we knew everything kind of that was going on. But just in terms of getting very in depth with them, we didn't start that until,
That's
the night
tough.
we beat TCU, because all of our focus was in on TCU and having to
Mm.
to win that game. So um I don't know if that's the right way to go about it. Like I don't know how everyone else does it, but for us, that's what we did. But prepping for him, I mean, it ain't really nothing that you can do. I mean, the dude, like you said, he's one of the best players ever in college, right? So it was.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you? I mean, sometimes, like at one point in time, like I yelled at the referee, like, "Man, that's over the back! Like, call over the back!" And then literally on a jumbotron, I look up there, and he just jump up and just snatch the ball out of our guy hand and dunk it. So it's like, I'm like, yeah, coach, it ain't no, what I mean, ain't no answer for that. You know what I mean? So
Nah, straight up.
it's
Nah, man. But nah, for the people that know, man, just Johnny, every stop you went, list them out. And this is not for this is for I want you to say which stops you went through for if there's any kids or any high school coaches or even college kids right now that want to get to the point where they could be a UIC assistant or even not even college kids like me. Like what was your ladder like to be able to get into this business, not just get into it, but stick into it and then progress to each stop you made because you see lists come out, what was it, like 30 under 30 or something like that? Like top 30 coaches under 30. Like you on the path that it may not get the notoriety that other paths get, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
it's progressing at a pace that it's kind of like not necessarily unknown, but it's going some places. So you know what I
Mhm.
mean? What was your ladder? Where did you start? When did you decide that you wanted to go into this to coaching? Because you wasn't one of those guys that came out and had like major hoop dreams. Like you got into it right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what was that like?
Well, first off, I can thank Pink for that, right? Because he after the season I kind of went to him and he knew because even during my recruiting process, I kind of let him know, hey, I want to get into coaching. I don't know
Mm,
how I want to do it, but that was always a thought of mine. And I think my earlier years when I was playing basketball, that wasn't really at the forefront of my mind. It was more so, trying to advance and play professionally as long as I can. But as I got a little bit older, coaching was definitely something that I enjoyed. And I had a unique experience because I played under four head coaches, what I mean, at three different schools.
mm,
My first coach at Illinois State was Tim Jankovich, who I still talk to this day. The next one was Dan Muller. Then I transferred and I went to play for Scott Cross at UTA. And then I finished up with Coach Painter. And so, I had the perspective even as a point guard, of learning different things and learning different offenses. So it was very unique for me, and I think it helped me with my development as a coach.
that's hard.
But just what I would say, first I started at, like we said, Northwestern Ohio, and again that coach who took over, for our Coach Adams, Caleb Williams. I still talk to him to this day. I just talked to him maybe about a couple of weeks ago. But I'm saying all that to say is, relationships are huge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're huge, and you can never discount who you're talking to. You know what I mean? There's guys at Purdue like Cowan, right? That was a manager
Yep.
that's on staff at Western Michigan.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I
Yep.
think just the way you go about things, you always got to treat people the right way. You always got to get with people that do the right things. Like that's why I was with Coach Sprinkle. you know what I mean, at Montana State. That's why I didn't leave. I had an opportunity to leave and go somewhere else. I didn't do it because I was with the right guy. He was about the right stuff, and I knew what I would learn and how I would develop. Um, One of the comments I made early on was just kind of about this society that we in, this microwave society. Like everybody think that they the next, John Thompson or whoever it is, but
Mm-hmm.
man, that stuff happens over time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
even Sprinks, who I just been working with for the past, few years. I mean, that dude is he a legend. It took him 20 years to get the
Mm.
head coaching job at Montana State. You know what I
That's
mean? That's
tough.
that's longevity. So I'm just looking at it from that lens and that scope, and I'm not trying to like skip any steps. You know what I mean? I wanna, go through everything. I think I've been through a lot already, but I want to continue to, learn and grow and lean on people that's been there. That's huge for me. So that's why I would tell kids. I mean, even in the space of playing, like we always kind of hit, extremes. Like our parent society, maybe they didn't leave a place, maybe they didn't leave a company. They stayed there for 20 years, no matter what. Now with us, if our boss say something mean to us, like we out. You know what I mean? Like you
Straight
can't,
up, straight up.
it has to be a balance. You got to learn how to balance it. And the most important thing is making sure that you getting better at your craft every day and, you getting better as a person every day. So.
Hey man, hey man, say man. From the locker next to you to hear you going off on assistant coaches, to hear how you used to get in open gym, so flustered, so upset. Just a little. All it took was a little bit to get Johnny going. To hear you talk now, it sounded just like how Paint used to talk to us, man. I could tell you done been, man. It's crazy. Like when I hear you, I hear PJ. I'm listening to y'all. It's like, damn, man. I'm still the only childish one. It's crazy, but
Nah, no, no, no. Listen, trust me. I'm
for
telling you, I'm still childish, and these guys don't know it. But at the end of the day, man, it's for them, man. I think they just want to know how you can help them in those
yeah,
situations. How I was, it helps me relate to guys because I know what that feel
facts,
like. You know what I mean? I
facts.
know exactly what it feel like to want something. I know what it feel like to sit on the bench and you working your butt off and you ain't playing. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
know how that feels, and so I'm able to talk to these guys about those experiences directly and how you can navigate them. Because it ain't gonna stop,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you married,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm sure it's
Mm-hmm.
every day ain't peaches and cream, right? You got kids. Every day ain't easy.
Hell yeah,
Like
hell yeah,
that's just what it is, man. It's life. So that's why I love this game. You can teach so many lessons through this game. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Nah, straight up. And then for everybody that out there that hate transfer portal, that hate two-time transfers, I just realized, I just thought about it. Johnny Hill, you are a product of a two-time transfer,
Yeah.
and so you guys stick up for my two-time transfers because it work. It pans out. It worked because I never even thought about it. Like when people were like, "This person is transferring so much, they hurt your culture," but you came in, you bought in Purdue right away. So now I
Well,
got a whole different perspective on that. When you just said
yeah.
from that to that to that, I was like, "Oh damn, that makes sense." Would
Well,
you say?
here's what I'll say about that. Because I do got like and obviously I'm in it, right? So I'll be probably a little bit biased, but now that
Hella
I'm
biased.
standing back, I got a different kind of scope at it. You got to
Yeah.
understand when I decided to leave UTA, I wanted to go to the high major level, but one of the biggest reasons because I wanted to go to the NCAA tournament, right? And I knew you can
Facts,
have kind
facts,
of there's multi-bid leagues.
facts.
I knew that there was a chance that I would sacrifice playing time in doing that, and I was
Yep.
okay with it, right? Like a lot of
Mm,
times you see these kids that's leaving places, like,
facts.
and the reason for them leaving is like it doesn't make sense. Like sometimes it's like, oh, well, we need NIL. We need this. I need to make this money. Like I need to do. I think that kids are getting away from the main thing. Whatever your main thing is,
Facts.
like if your main thing is winning, going to the tournament, then keep that your main thing. Money
Facts.
is gonna come, right?
Man,
Like,
I seen a dude transfer, say he wants to go to the tournament. They went to the tournament. I guess it ain't like his playing time. He transferred back to the school he came from and missed the tournament. Like, yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Like, dudes are transferring for no reason at some point. Because now you're seeing, like, what I don't like is when now you're seeing, like, the eighth, ninth man that would have been next up the next year, him transferring out to go be the eighth, ninth man somewhere else. You know what I mean? And still
yeah,
lose. Like you see dudes transfer out. to be in the same position they were just in and still lose. Like, that don't make no sense. Especially when you know the NIL situation didn't really change. They just sometimes you can have, I call it, what I be calling in the studio is delusional confidence. Some dudes got delusional confidence, and it just don't make sense. But a question it lead me to is something I've been asking everybody before I get you out of here. Johnny Hill transferred from UTA to Purdue, 22, 23, whatever. Purdue say, yo, we got 225 bands for you, Johnny Hill. We got 225,000 NIL. What's the first thing you buying with your NIL? What you doing with it? How we living? What you doing?
With my NIL?
Yeah, what you doing with your NIL?
Yeah.
Just 200, and it's for 10 months. So say we giving you 25,000 a month on the 20th of every month.
Yeah.
We on campus. What we living like?
What I'm gonna probably do is buy some type of property, and the property I'm gonna buy is probably gonna be, a big house that got multiple rooms, and I'm gonna probably try to, when I finish there, rent it out to teammates or ex-teammates or whoever, and make some of that money. I'm gonna try to invest it some way, and I think that's kids got to start looking into that. Maybe not exactly that, but I don't know if I can say it, but looking into of investing your money rather than just buying frivolous stuff. Because the other thing with money comes taxes. Okay, and it ain't no avoiding that. So
now I'm waiting to see the first real tax scandal in college basketball. It's gonna be one.
It's gonna
be one. Someone thinking, and then it's gonna be some situations where the dudes start getting robbed by the financial agents and the aid. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some here soon. And
it's happening.
So we predicting down the line college basketball is gonna be a player going to jail for tax fraud, tax evasion.
Well, I hope not. I hope that
I can't put that on you. But nah, man, Johnny, man, top 30 under 30, man. Me and my wife was talking about it the other night, man. Like I said, we went out to see you out there. Like, I got in the car after the game. I was like, oh shit, Johnny on to something. Then we had came to the crib and we had got to see you build. I was like, oh yeah, my man on to something. And ever since, I've been telling people, just wait till my guy get in position. And now my guy is in position, and now I hope y'all can build the roster. I'm in Chicago in the winter, so I'm coming to games. I'm not donating to NIL, but I'm coming to games. I'm a support with my fist pump. But I'm wishing the best for you, especially in this coaching stuff, bro. Because the real ones, they got to get in position in this game. And when kids have people like you, like when I have a person like Paint, the relationship is everlasting. Like you play for Paint for 1 year and you call him, he gonna call you back if he misses it. You know what I'm saying? So like when your coach is that way, and Paint was a player, so he get it. You was a player, so you get it. PJ was a player, so he get it. And I ain't saying it just gotta be player coaches, but it's gotta be coaches that get it and get every understand different aspects of life. You know what I mean? Understand you can't talk to because one thing you was good at, you used to pull Vince aside, talking to him one way. You would go put your arm around Biggie, talk to him one way. You know what I mean? You talk to me a whole different hype way. You cuss me out. So it's like you knew how to treat people differently. And I think that type of shit is needed in coaching. And then for that, Johnny, man, we appreciate you over here. And we wish you the best, man. We happy for you. We congratulate you on the season y'all had and the new gig for real.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you too for highlighting, people like myself and even other guys on this show, man. I like checking it out. I like, hearing what you got to say, different opinions. I think that's big, and even you talking about my growth and my development, it's cool seeing yours. You know what I mean? Like now you got a son. I want to know how that is raising a son. Like it's cool to have people like you to talk to. My wife, was kind of nervous about Chicago, right? Like she never lived here. I called you. You told me about that. So I think it's cool, man. I like just the relationships that you build through life and that you keep through life, man, is huge. So I appreciate you for, even having me.
No, facts, bro. Until next time, everybody out there, boiler up, hammer down, all here at Purdue, Talkin Hoops with Rapheal Davis. We out.